Evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 10 o'clock, All Pig News, and we are at Justice Community Protection Camp outside Wythenshawe Police Station. That's quite strange, the connection is not breaking down now when I'm doing it in a private mode. Oh no, it's weird. Weird.
They put a block on it, that's why. You can't live stream.
Don't know. But it's working now, so fine. We're fine. So
like us on Facebook,
Justice Community Protection Camp. Yeah, and we shall start with Damien. Damien, come here. It's your turn. Yep, tell us your story.
I'm Damien, as you know, and I lost my flat about, I'd say, just over 2 weeks ago. And due to that was I was on ESA for depression and alcoholism. I'm a recovering alcoholic, so I was on tablets and everything. I was on ESA, they took me off it because Atos said that I was not fit for it anymore, so I went on JSA.
French Private Corporation.
Yeah, I went on JSA and they sent me a letter, second class. It arrived at mine at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I read the letter. It said I had an appointment at 9:15. On that day I got the letter, and the dated letter was the day before they'd sent it, so I would have missed it anyway. So I got sanctioned for that. I got took off the dole. My housing benefit got stopped, my council tax, everything. I lost my flat, I lost everything. I was sleeping in a burnt out building in Sharston on a wooden door with a blanket. I thought I had a warrant out for shoplifting. I'm not a thief, I was shoplifting to feed myself. So I came to the police station just to get help off them, really. I was hoping to get locked up, but I didn't have anything with me. I came over to the community protection camp, spoke to these gents, said come back. I came back the next day. They looked after me, helped me. Ever since, they've put me in contact with a fella called Adrian. I think his company's called Mad Dogs. He helps people homeless and they rehouse them, help them with bonds and clothing and things like that. I went to Manchester Piccadilly Gardens today to speak to a lady called Eve, called Coffee for Craig.
Yep.
They help with the homeless. This is their card.
Yep, come on.
That's
Yep.
them.
So it's up there on Facebook as well. It's Coffee for Craig. Yep. So what do they do?
They do, it's on the back there, they do fundraising ideas and cash donations, food, clothing, footwear donations, also support. They also help with food. If you've got any medical issues, go to Piccadilly Gardens. They have St John's ambulance there, they can help you in ways like that. They also offer something to eat and that. So I went to see them today. I've now got to go back on the ESA, but they've helped me because if you're homeless, they can't make you go on GSA because you're homeless, you can't look for a job. And with your severe depression and anxiety, you can't. But ever since I've been here, I haven't had one tablet for my anxiety or depression. And even though I'm living outside and that, and I don't have a home, it's the happiest I've been in a few years. And there is reasons behind why I was a drinker. I was sexually abused as a child by a family member. Wythenshawe Police got a statement from me, my parents, and another family member that he admitted it to them. They turned around, and he also been arrested for it before, his family member, for kissing a young girl. And apparently the police have said they can't find his charge, which I find unbelievable because any charge I've had, it's on the computer system, so it's just disappeared. They've turned around and said, because it's historic abuse, there's nothing we can do. And this is all before the Savile case and everything. They said it's historic and there's nothing we can do. So that was the reason behind my drinking and things, which has led me to here. But like I say, I've not had a drink for 3 weeks. I've not had my antidepressant tablets, and I'm happy, even though I'm living outside. But I feel like I'm doing something good. People have helped me in the past, so I think it's time that I helped and put the word about. That's my story, really. I'm still here today, fighting fit, and that's me.
Do you want to talk about your granddad as well?
Oh yeah, my granddad. He lost his wife about 3 years ago. They were together 66 years. We all thought that he'd go with a broken heart, but he carried on fighting. He had a crumbling back over the years, that was deteriorating. So he ended up getting care. He had home help care, social services. It was alright at first, and then he broke his hip. He had a fall. He broke his hip, so he got took into Wythenshawe Hospital. He was in there for 6 weeks to rehabilitate rehabilitated him. He also had cancer. I can't think what cancer it is. They do that thing with the bum. It's some cancer anyway. It's common.
What, the bowels?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And so he went home. He had to have a proper hospital bed. He has carers 4 times a day. One day he was in bed. They put him in bed at 7 o'clock in the evening. No, but my uncle came down in the morning about 11 o'clock. He was laying in bed, covered in feces. His colostomy bag was full. I'd not had a tablet, not a drink or anything. This was at 11 o'clock. So my dad rang social services. They said they forgot about him. So if my uncle hadn't have gone, he'd have been there till 4 o'clock for his tea time call. So he was left there. So my dad complained to social services. There's a complaint that the bloke who left him there, who forgot, was stuck into the office. He must have had a talking to. He's gone back to my granddad's and he's having a shout at my granddad saying, you know, you've got me in big trouble. My granddad pays for this service. He asked, can someone come round about 8 o'clock to put him in bed because it's a right time for him. And the man's saying, no, I'll come round when I'm ready, when I've got time. And as he's changing his colostomy bag, he's tightening it and he's shouting at my granddad, and he's tightening it that tight. When my dad's come round the next day and took it off, it's left a big imprint, about a quarter of an inch imprint into his leg, and you can just see his bone and everything. And my dad's now with social service trying to get it sorted out, but no one's listening. It's just, oh, he's sorry, it won't happen again, sort of thing. And now he's back in hospital again because he's broken a leg now. He's on his last leg now, and I think that's through failings of the social services.
Neglect.
Neglect, yeah. Neglect. And that's my story.
So what made you, because I believe you were going to hand yourself in?
Yeah,
like you said.
Yeah, for shoplifting it was.
What made you come across to the camp?
Well, I saw a big sign there saying that the police are corrupt and everything, that people die in custody, so I thought, well, here we go, I don't fancy that. So I came over, spoke to Wes.
I know I'm laughing, but it's not funny.
Yeah. It's not funny.
Well, that made me think. I thought, no, I don't fancy that, I want to come out. Turned out I didn't have a warrant for shoplifting. I'd already been cautioned for that. It was a mix-up. Spoke to these here, and yeah, they explained everything to me. Now it's opened my eyes up to a lot of things. And since being here, it's unbelievable the amount of people pulling over.
Stories.
And the stories there of corruption, not just in the police, in courts, social services, it's everywhere. And it's really opened up my eyes.
Has anybody pulled over while...
A lot of people have pulled over. I was even in the park today.
Yeah, well, I was doing leaflets. Has anybody pulled over?
Not today. I was speaking to a gentleman in the park today.
Yeah.
He goes past every day, lets on, he's really supportive. His wife got arrested last year. I think it was last year. She was handcuffed and they broke her wrist by doing it. So she's in courts and she's in the courts, handcuffed still. And the judge has said, is there anything we can do for you? She's turned around and said, yeah, you can get these handcuffs off because they broke her wrist. So they took her down into wherever it was, they saw the doctor and she broke her wrist, and that was through the handcuffs where they twisted her, the force. Now he's put a complaint in a year ago and nothing's happened with that.
There's a surprise.
There's another one. A gentleman pulled up today. His son was 12 years old, he's now 20 years old, so this is some time ago. He was playing with his friends in Wythenshawe. They were playing cops and robbers, as kids do, with plastic guns, going pow, pow and things like this, kicking cans over, pretending they're shooting them. Now all 12-year-olds do this, but somebody must have made a complaint. So they sent an unmarked car past, and they sat there for half an hour recording these kids. So I think in half an hour you can see if it's a real gun or they're playing. So half an hour after, the tactical aid unit and gun squad are in the car park further down, getting all ready to go and rush them. All kids between like 9 and 12. So they come down, they get this lad, they throw him to the floor, they broke his ribs and give him a black eye, cocked a gun, stuck a gun to his head and said, where's the gun, where's the gun? Where they knew it wasn't a gun because he'd been watching for half an hour. So then his son wanted to be a police officer, but after that incident and how he's seen the corruption and how they treat him, he doesn't want to do it anymore. And he's 20 years old now, and when it happened, the child's father said, I want to make a complaint, so he made a complaint. And this PC, I won't say his name, this PC,
Mr. D.
Mr. D is called, yeah, that'll do. Said, yeah, we'll do the complaint, it'll take up to 6 weeks and I'll get in contact with you.
What was the PC's name?
Davenport.
PC Davenport.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Yeah. 7 years ago, is it?
Yeah.
Another cover-up.
And he went to the police station, and nobody knows where this PC is working anymore. And this is from 12 to the age of 20. So no one knows where this police officer's working. Nobody knows the complaint.
He's probably retired, been pensioned off, and then he's joined the IPCC.
Yeah.
So he's taking more money from the taxpayer like they normally do.
Correct.
Because this is what these parasites do.
Parasites.
Parasites. Wow.
We just couldn't make it up. Wow.
Oh, another guy
Tuesday for us.
come today at camp and said that somebody keeps informing on him that they've got stuff in the house, and every time the police come and raid the house, they've done it on many occasions and they've never found anything. But this particular time, the officer put a taser to his mum's head and said, "If you don't be quiet, I'm going to tase you in the head." Putting a taser to somebody's head. A woman.
You weren't even there for the
That's
woman.
GMP for you. Wythenshawe. Need I say any more?
Gentleman also as well. I was talking to the same gentleman whose wife's arm got broken. A man was in Forest Bank, good working bloke, had his own plumbing business. It was just, I don't know what it was, it was tax or something he was there for. He'd come from one prison and he's always had heart problems, palpitations, irregular heartbeat, so he was on angina, he had medication for it, so he was having his medication in this particular prison, moved to Forest Bank, and because he'd not seen the doctor on that day, then they said he can't have the tablets. So the next day they go to his cell to wake him up and he's dead through a heart attack.
Here we go. Neglect.
Again. Has anybody been charged?
No, nothing's been charged.
Has anybody been disciplined?
No.
Nothing.
Has there even been any recommendations?
No. Regular business hours as usual, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another day, another dollar.
And another one bites the dust. Crazy as it sounds. But that's what's happening here in the UK.
And that's only the stories for today, for Tuesday. Yeah, that's all news for Tuesday. Have you ever seen such amount of stories in Metro, Daily Mail, The Sun?
To be honest,
Fraction?
Obviously,
nothing. Blackouts.
Wythenshawe's a big area. I think second biggest estate in Europe.
Biggest council estate
probably
in Europe, yeah.
And we've had that many people approach us telling us their stories, which some of them, I mean, you wouldn't think you'd be shocked, but
we're already got used to it.
We're getting shocked every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's mad.
It's different walks of life as well. You'd think it'd be all scum, or what people call scum. You're getting people over from sorts of different walks of life. You know, elderly people who've got stories to tell. Respectable people, and it's happening to them as well, not just thugs as you call them, I don't know what you call them, but it's not just happening to people like that, it's respectable people in the community it's happening to, and it needs to stop.
Yeah, well, estates get stigmatised, don't they?
Yeah.
That they're a bad, rough area and they're all, you know, scum. And put it this way, I'm born and bred from Salford, and Wythenshawe, just the same, salt of the earth. You have that many people stopping giving food and donations, drinks, water, whatever you need, they're there. Which, you know, it's inspiring, to be honest. And I think what's lacking in big areas like this is the community spirit.
Yeah, I think they've lost that, haven't they?
Well, to be honest, I think since we've been here, we've had nothing but community spirit.
It's picking up, everyone's saying congratulations, well done, you're doing a good job, keep it up. So I just keep it up.
Yep.
And I'd like to say I'll be here as long as I can, and we are coming to a prison station near you.
One more thing here. If you've got a story to tell, you're more than welcome to join us and tell your story. Come forward.
If you don't want to, you know, be recognised, we can keep you anonymous, no problem.
It's Community Protection Camp.
Justice
Community Protection Camp. Outside Wythenshawe Police Station.
So keep the stories coming, folks. It's interesting. But I think, you know, change, that's what we're after.
Change.
And making the people in power accountable. Not just the police, it's the banking system, judges, Crown Prosecution Service,
Social Services,
FAA,
Social Services,
Tony Lloyd.
FAA must go. Piece of FAA must go.
But before he goes, that's the man who needs to be arrested.
Oh yeah,
because
for sure.
He's protected by the corporation he works for. And as you know, the system is built around corporations. So if something happens, like a death in custody, they're protected. Give you an example. They've charged Sir Peter Fahey with a health and safety breach regarding my cousin being shot dead, even though they didn't have any duty of care over my cousin being shot dead. And what they've done is they've orchestrated it that it's pushed our inquest further away. So we're still waiting 2 years on for our inquest. So bear in mind, Fahey's not a man of his word, because every time I've met him, and I've met him on many occasions, you can just go on YouTube, put in hashtag Justice for Granger, and you'll see me up against these people. And when you throw real questions at them, they fall to pieces, because it's not built in the script. And you can see it in the faces when I'm asking them a question. They're looking for the barristers, to protect them, because that's, they're not used to people coming forward and standing up against their crime and crimes against humanity, which is what these people stand for. Like I said, he's not a man of his word. He's always said to me, Wesley, we're just as frustrated as you are regarding the length of time it's taken before we get anywhere with our case. He's pleaded not guilty, which is orchestrated again.
Whitewash.
Yeah, correct. And if he gets found guilty, the taxpayer pays the fine, and that fine goes back into a justice system where you can't get justice from. Corrupt. And they're all protected. They're protected by the IPCC, who are not independent one little bit. And then you've got the Crown Prosecution Service, who protects them. There's another layer of protection. And they're corrupt.
So if you've got some stories to tell about GMP, social services,
Anything. People being stitched up by him.
If you lost a family member due to any neglect, come forward. This side is love and light, and you've got there
The dark side.
the dark side. Neighbours from hell.
The gateway to hell.
Gateway to hell.
Are GMP fit for purpose?
No.